All right, Hardianers.
Energy.
As you can see with my beautiful hat, we are joined today by Luke Hallam from Ocean Heroes.
Oh, yeah.
Delby, you look
doing some good things.
It's one way to wear a hat.
Yeah, I'm doing it like R&B 2000s hip-hop style.
I don't know if that works.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome episode. Before we get into the episode, we'll quickly thank our sponsors. This week's episode is brought to you by alltradescover.com.au, as you can see behind our glorious guest there.
If you run a surf school and need, insurance,
that's
alltradescover.com.au. If you're a sole trader, if you want to get your tools, insured.
That's your new challenge, finding a new job every single time that you can insure.
That's right. If you're a mushroom farmer from last episode. But check it out. And if you need some refreshments after a surf,
support those who support us.
That's the Grim Reapers.
If
you need some refreshments after a surf,
get around the Raunchy Brewing Co. They are the beer that's actually good.
Yeah, just don't have them before you go to surf school or to Ocean Heroes, who we are here with today.
Perfect. Yep. Joined by Luke Hallam. Incredible episode, mate. Thank you so much for coming on, and great service that you guys are providing. Do you remember what we spoke about today? Do you have a pretty good clue?
Like a recap.
Some of it. So we spoke about autism, we spoke about surfing and what we do at Ocean Heroes, and about why everyone should come down and volunteer.
Correct.
We spoke about ultra marathons.
Yep.
Yes.
And Molokai to Oahu paddleboard races.
Yeah.
We spoke
Some
about
awesome success stories that'll give you a little bit of water around the eyes.
Yeah, we spoke about that it's okay for men to cry when they're doing these ultra marathons. it is okay.
Yeah. Some really cool success stories of graduates with people with autism, and how they're just people, man. They're just people. They're just people. You don't have to speak to them like they're friggin' 3 years old.
I always thought they were people.
Yeah.
Just. But yeah, awesome episode, mate.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you coming on.
Epic.
And appreciate what you guys are doing in the community. So
And,
perfect.
Join us for the run near the beach at Hard Yarns Podcast. Click the link.
Yes.
52Ks. We talked about that actually.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
So if you want to join, we're going to make it a donation to Legacy. And should we do 2 fundings, or do we have to do something separate for Ocean Heroes?
Maybe we'll do something separate. We'll do a swimming thing or surfing or something.
24 hours.
Yeah.
24 hours.
I'm going to be there. I'll do the first 15 minutes and then let Andy do the rest.
All right.
Hell yeah. All right, let's get wet.
Let's get hard.
Welcome to Hard Yarns Podcast.
I am fucking fat.
Anything Chris White says, please disregard it.
5D is actually a state of being. It's a unity consciousness.
That was Hard Yarns with me, Frankie Rose. So I'm going to throw it over to your co-host,
Daniel Delby.
And Cameron Branch.
I would do this and then I'd gong.
Free in attendance for the millions listening at home. Let's get hard.
He drives a Harley or something.
Yeah. So what's going on? We're
live.
We're recording. We're on.
Fuck yeah.
How you feeling there, Daniel? Yep. Ocean Heroes. I'm going to put my hat on.
It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work. Sick. Thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate your time. We've met through the surfing classes that my daughter's been doing. So before we really get into things, you want to give a rundown of who you are and what you're doing?
What's the vibe? What's the general Marbo? What's the vibe?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Castle, best movie ever.
Yes.
So thanks for having me, fellas. So my name's Luke Hallam. I'm the co-founder of Ocean Heroes. So Ocean Heroes is a charity that's based here in WA, but we also run in New South Wales. And essentially we aim to improve the lives of autistic people and their families through surfing. It's a very simple way of looking about what we do, but it is very complex in what we actually do.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So
I've seen it firsthand through my daughter's attendance and the improvement she's had and the smile on her face, man. When she stood up that first time on a wave, I nearly cried. Yeah. Actually, not nearly. I did. I got teary. Oh, the waves, they're in my eyes.
waves of emotion.
But when they're just standing up on that board, and it's just, it is solo sport, obviously, so it makes it a bit easier, I guess, for them. But just to see that smile was fucking incredible. And I'm sure other parents feel the same sort of thing.
Yeah, so it's amazing. When we first started it, it was totally just about the participants coming down, and we get people of all ages who attend. But it's that funny byproduct that we never knew we would impact was the families around the children, because quite often with these participants that come down, they have never played sport.
Yeah.
They have never been to the beach. They don't know how to swim.
Yeah.
They've never been in a social situation outside of their family or school. And then they come down and they see their kid jump on a board and stand up and surf, which is a normal thing for an Australian kid to do. And it's just like an overwhelming emotion of hope and joy. It is so cool.
I can't explain that feeling that I got. It was just, it was very nice to see. But
I've resisted the urge to joke in that
don't
serious
joke,
part
bro.
there.
Joke.
A normal thing for an Australian kid. I'm fucking Italian. I swim like a hairy brick. I tried to duck dive on the surfboard as a fucking teenager. I was like, fuck this, man. I'm done. So the autistic kids are killing it. But for you to have to teach them to swim as well as surf, you might need insurance. Alltradescover.com.au. But yeah, is that pretty hectic if they've never swum? Yeah. And my second follow-up question is, I used to teach special needs kids for 10 years, so I've dealt with autistic kids like my whole teaching career. If their special interest is not surfing, how do you get them to like surfing?
Yeah.
That's the biggest challenge. Like if they're like, fuck this.
Yeah. So this is both very deep questions, and like we can go into as much depth as you want around them.
Into
Waist
both.
height.
Waist height. So the first side of it is the opportunity side of it. So this is a pretty damning stat, and kind of the reason that we do what we do. So in Australia, the leading cause of death for autistic children is drowning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's different studies that have got different sort of ratios, anywhere from 4 times a neurotypical child to there's places in the US. Obviously, it's geographically determined.
Yeah.
Obviously, if they're landlocked, it's less likely.
Yeah.
But in places like Florida, and it would be relatively similar here in Australia, it can be as more as 100 to 150 times more likely than a neurotypical child.
That's crazy.
Huge variety of reasons, but the main reason is they don't get the opportunity to access nippers or swim schools or things like that because they're group activities.
Yeah.
And generally, these participants are struggling to be in those groups. They need that one-on-one support. One-on-one support requires a lot of money. Sometimes these families don't have enough money to fund that, so then that child misses out. So answering the first question. The second question is, we get, if what do we do if a child doesn't want to surf?
Yeah.
We get participants coming down who have never had a shower because they're so terrified of water and the feeling of it on their body, the full sensory side of it.
Yeah.
Where we just literally build bonds and trust.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. None of our surf coaches are experts.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we do really, really well. We just bond to the kid. We just figure out what they need.
Yeah.
And their success might be rocking up to the van and putting a wetsuit on.
Yeah.
Or their success might be catching the green wave and getting tubed.
It was such a big box tick in my mind watching you guys go through just establishing a relationship with Scotty, because her biggest issue is just like attaching to someone and feeling that trust. So it took about half an hour to get her in the water, and she's not fine. She's fine getting in water, but she was anxious about them. But first thing they did, well, let's build a sandcastle.
Yep.
Let's just start chatting. Let's get that. And they tick that box. And then, all right, do you want to go in for a swim? And then, let's get on the board. On her first session, eventually, towards the end, last 10 minutes, they got her standing up on the board. And that was, incredible to watch that process.
Interesting that you can do that in half an hour in a beach setting. And at a school setting, the teachers, they're just expected to come to class and fucking fit in with a few little minor adjustments without building a relationship first.
Yeah.
So for you guys to be able to just figure that out, let's build relationships and then we'll deal with the other stuff. It doesn't happen in an education setting. In teenage years, I should say.
Yeah, for sure. We're not pigeonholed by certain guidelines, and half an hour can actually be quite a short time frame for us to do that.
Oh, yeah,
and we've had participants that come down that it takes them 10 sessions to even go to the sand.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's their journey, and we'll support them along that way. We'll also get participants with PDA profiles. So if you suggest something to them, they're just not going to do it. Yeah. So you almost got to inception plant the idea into their head, which is a challenge. But it's also every single person that comes is different. So when we tell our surf coaches what to do, it is so simple. It is build trust, build relationships, and whatever support they need, provide it. There is no guidebook for a kid that comes down, and the best person to talk to is the parents.
How's so how does the process go? Because it's NDIS funded. It's hard enough to get on the NDIS program. It's a lot of work, a lot of meetings, a lot of paperwork, and thank you to Steph for putting in that effort to getting all that sort of stuff sorted.
It's a fucking joke at the moment, the NDIS.
Yeah, it's really
all
difficult.
over the shop. They do some great work, but then there's some people that get funding that you like.
So I'm interested though, what's the process for you guys to get on that list of things that are funded by NDIS and part of the program?
Pretty exhaustive, hey?
Yeah, so we've got 2 programs. So we've got the Surf Experience program, which Scotty attends, but then we also have our free events program, which is obviously completely free. So from the NDIS perspective, when we first started kind of floating this idea, we got a lot of pushback. Initially, they were like, you guys are cowboys. What are you doing? You guys are going to do something wrong or somebody's going to get hurt. As you would have seen in our program, safety is absolute paramount.
Yeah.
Most of the participants wear life jackets, especially if they don't know how to swim. And then, so for us to get onto that sort of approved funders list, there's 2 different ways you can go about it. So the NDIS has 3 categories. You have self-managed, plan-managed and agency managed. So because we're not a registered NDIS provider, we just fit under the self-managed and plan-managed side of things. But then the participants' funding is dictated by their plan manager and where they can spend it. So we help them with quotes and letters of support for whatever their child needs. And their goal might be like, you know, they want to go access the beach on the weekends because they love it down there, but they don't know how to swim. They don't have any boundaries around ocean safety. So that's where we come in.
It's so interesting. I'm very closely affiliated with NDIS. One of my best mates just works across the road here. And I found from what she was telling me, plan managers are one of the most important people because if you get a dud, just like someone that doesn't know what they're doing, they go, oh no, they don't need funding for that. We're going to put the funding into fucking, I don't know, like it could be a special type of clothing or whatever. If you don't get a good plan manager to distribute your funds or even justify why the kid needs it, you're already facing a losing battle. So
and
you guys see how to work with that.
Because it is so hard to self-manage it as well. There's so much work required just to get it, let alone manage it and try and figure out where to put it. So having a good plan manager.
And it's really interesting because when I first started the Surf Experience program, the vast majority of my time was talking to plan managers and trying to convince them what we were doing was beneficial. And if you're trying to convince somebody who doesn't like the water or isn't really in the job for the right reasons, it's kind of like running into a brick wall 100%. Over and over. So, but now we've got processes in place and you know, we've got great relationships with a lot of the service providers. So we are, you know, relatively good at getting funding, but a lot of the time the participant won't get enough. You know,
always the way. Do their support workers come down with them, or is it just parents only?
Sometimes, So sometimes you'll get support workers who have multiple clients, and they'll bring them down, and like we get to form relationships with them, and then they'll become volunteers for us in the future. And,
sick.
But mainly it's parents, and you know, coming back to that hope, joy, seeing your kid do something normal. You know, that's what's so special. And it could also be respite. The parent. They just drop the kid off for an hour, go and have a coffee, we take them for a surf, they have a great time, and then they're kind of ready to go.
Obviously, that's after you've built the relationship. Try drop them off, it's a nightmare.
So, and you know, at Brighton and Scarborough on a Saturday when it's 38 degrees, quite often the parent needs to drop the kid off because there is no parking.
Parking anywhere. I drove around for like fucking 45 minutes the other day, like got there early knowing, I was like, I'm not making the same mistake, and still like just got there in time for Scotty. 45 minutes early.
And did you, was this spurred on by something personal for you, or did you just want to do something good, or had you seen this work? How did you get into it?
Yeah, it's a bit of a long story, and it's probably cool to share.
We got time.
But it's so when I left school, I became a PT, and when it was probably like 6 months into starting that sort of business, and I had this mum come to me who had a little daughter who was being homeschooled, and she wasn't doing any exercise at all. So she was like, "Oh, I just want her to like run around and burn some energy, like most kids, because right now at home we're doing nothing." And so I just started kind of training her, which was just like running around on the indoor sport courts and on the treadmills and stuff. Nothing too serious.
Yeah.
But it was more the social side where this particular girl was getting the benefit from.
Yeah.
Eventually, she went back to mainstream schooling, graduated at TAFE, like doing great things now.
Cool.
But the cool thing is that this mum was like an advocate for all other parents of people with autism. And all of a sudden, I went from having like 3 clients to having 50 clients.
Nice.
And the
Good
vast
for business.
great for business. But I had like a huge range of people with autism coming down to train with me. I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
And, I would have people that are coming down who are non-verbal, require 24-hour care, violent towards themselves or others.
How do you deal with starting that with
that's just
no...
their self-regulating,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the thing, like I kind of just jumped in the deep end. And I
No
think,
training. As teachers, we have hours of PT. And you're like, deal with this.
Yeah, and, there was some hairy moments and, there's been times where it's kind of, you take a step back and you're like, whoa, that was pretty heavy.
Yeah.
But then you either just go, oh, I'm not doing it anymore. Or you think, well, what did I do wrong? What could I do better? And that's where I built all my skills around this. And I love it. It's the best thing ever. And the coolest thing about it is I figured out that all of these participants can exercise.
Yeah.
Every one of them can.
Yeah.
But they weren't. None of them were. They weren't doing sport. They weren't going to the gym. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, what else could they do but they aren't doing? And so I put out like a survey to these 50 families.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you guys go to the beach at all?
Yeah.
None of them.
Wow.
And if
But
you
like
put...
they didn't tempt it, or they just don't.
It's just not a thing,
Yeah.
the fear of being judged out in the community, hot, sand, ocean, salt, all these sensory things. They're just like, nah, too hard. Let's just make sure we keep the routine safe.
Yeah.
I get it, 100%, but also we need to be able to provide that opportunity for those people that want it.
Yeah.
So I got together with the other co-founders, Sam Moyle and Tom Johnston, and we thought it would be a really good idea to grab a bunch of stand-up paddleboards from Stand Up Surf Shop and take a bunch of my clients surfing on a Sunday in May 2016.
Yeah.
So like 25 of these families rocked up. And it was chaos. Like, nosedive.
I would have loved to see that.
Like we had no idea what we were doing. Like, there's wipeouts everywhere, and it was full on. And it was actually like the best day of surf at Leighton. I know the story gets bigger and bigger every time I tell it, but the waves were unreal.
Yeah.
Which wasn't great for us because they were big and we were on these massive boards that you would have seen.
Yeah.
And it was pretty heavy. But after the event, we had all these parents being like, okay, are we doing this next week? And we're just like, are you sure? And then, so we just had so much demand. So it started off really, really small from there. And then we registered as a charity.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, let's do it properly. Let's form a board. And we're really lucky to get some really integral people on the board who are way smarter at us.
Surfboard.
Yeah, on the surfboard. So like our treasurer Nando, like if we didn't have him, we'd be nowhere. And then we got like the actual people who are experts, like Professor Andrew Whitehouse from Telethon Kids, who's like a leading researcher.
How do you get people like that? Just because of the parents? Oh, really?
Them. Yeah, just went straight to them, tell them what we're doing.
Like face to face?
Yeah, and because they know there's a lack of these opportunities, they're like, let's do it. Let's make it happen. And everyone that we approached who's in that sort of, network was like, this is awesome. We need to do this because there's nothing like this in Australia. So,
especially for a place like
We're blessed
Australia,
with the coastline.
we have the best surf and coastline in the world. Well, not best, but yeah.
Mate, I would push back and be like, we have the best beaches and we have the best water in the world. 90% of our population live within 100 k's of the coast.
Yeah.
It is an integral part of our culture. And I know that you said you obviously don't swim very well and all that, but you had the opportunity in your community to be able to go, I want to go to Nippers, I want to go do this. So when we first started these free events, which is how we started Ocean Heroes, they started with 25 kids and then we grew it to 40 and then to 50. The word started to spread. And then all of a sudden we were getting 150 people to these events.
So an autism specific one-on-one, now it's a group event?
Nah, so it's always one-on-one.
So you have 150
So we stagger it. So we'll have like
Wow.
waves of like 12 participants come down every half an hour.
Oh, that's incredible.
Otherwise, it's just, you can't
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
Hectic.
And it's in such demand, and it still is to this day, where we put up an event on Facebook and for the families to book in, and we'll book out 150 spots in 5 minutes.
Wow.
And then we'll have a wait list of hundreds.
Do they want to come to
Get it.
comedy shows at all?
Depending on what
I
sort
could
of
only
comedy it
dream
is.
of selling out 5 minutes.
Is your comedy show free?
That's a great point.
And, and that's the thing as well. Just when you see the look on their face, it's almost addictive to the parent. Like, yes, yep, when's the next one? We
Yeah.
need that. We need that next one because fuck, she enjoyed that and she's growing from that. So it is like, it's one of those
So
things.
what you would have 12 instructors with 12 kids?
Yeah, so our free events, they totally run on volunteers.
Cool.
So we'll have volunteers, 60, 70, come down, donate their Sunday, which is quite hard to get an 18 to 35-year-old to get up early on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And they come down, and if they're good in the water, they're in the water. We obviously train them, teach them what to do. And then we'll have our staff at the event. So running our free events in WA, we have Xander Dahan, and he's doing unreal things. With that, we have a volunteer coordinator, M, and those guys essentially run these events where 150 kids come down, they get paired with a volunteer or volunteers, depending on their needs, and they go surfing for half an hour, and they get all the photos in the world. They feel like a community, like part of a community.
Yeah.
And then they can hang out at the beach for as long as they
That's
want.
pretty cool. What have you found to be some of the myths that have been busted over your time? Because you've taught yourself how... Because autism isn't just one specific, like, this is an autistic person.
No.
It's so many...
Yes.
It's like a massive
Yeah.
broad range.
Yep.
What have you found that have been some myths that you've debunked on your own, or like
Yeah.
some common misconceptions?
There's a few things that I really kind of I hear now, and I'm just like, you're an idiot. Where I hear people say, "Oh, I'm a bit autistic,"
Yeah.
or something like that, and you're just like, you have no idea the challenges, and regardless of the education around it, that sort of stigma around saying, "Oh, I behaved poorly," I'm a bit like that. Some people with autism are so amazing.
Yeah.
They are incredible. Their gifts that they have. Like, I used to have a client, and I can't say his name for reasons you'll figure out soon.
Right.
Used to train him in the gym, and his mum said to me, "Hey, we're moving to Canberra." And I was like, "Oh, that's so cool. Where do you like go?" He's like, "Oh, he just got a scholarship." The kid was 14.
Yeah.
Just got a scholarship to one of the universities there
Wow.
for coding,
Wow.
which was funded by ASIO.
Wow.
Right? So this Grom has been picked out through some way,
Yeah.
and just has this brilliant mind, and is now gone on to probably be a
Hack
hacker or a
into,
spy or
work for the
something.
government.
Yeah,
Dark
a
shadows.
perfect circle. We are on an ASIO watch list.
Yes.
So.
So if you're listening,
But then the other side of it is the one I hear, which is just totally wrong, is that autistic people lack empathy.
Yeah.
And that is just not the case.
Yeah.
They may just display it differently.
Yeah.
Some of the best conversations I've ever had in my life have been with autistic people.
Yeah.
And I have great friendships with so many of them now,
Yeah.
and I just throw that out the window. That is not a thing. And it's just like regular people.
Yeah.
Some people have less empathy, some people have more.
Yeah.
That is just, not the case.
And so
Yeah.
you specialise in the autism stuff, but it covers a broad range of things for even GDD. So obviously my daughter came down for those sorts of reasons. So is there other things that they cover? Is anything that's
is
covered
it just
by
autism,
NDIS?
or is it people with the disability, or someone that's funded?
Yeah.
Or do you-
Yep. So we will never turn anyone away.
Yeah.
So we get people that come down with brain injuries,
Yep.
CP, Down syndrome, anything.
Yep.
We've taken everyone that says we want to come surfing.
Yeah, cool.
We just specialise in the autism side of things because it's such a large pool of
Yeah.
people. So if you put autism in one group and every other disability in another, autism is twice the size
Yeah.
of that, according to the NDIS anyway. So it's a significant part of our population.
What do you think? What do you think that is? Is this a new trend? And this is what I struggle with as well. Even being a teacher for 10 years, a lot of the kids that got funded for autism, I'm still a bit confused, because do you think it's a social trend? Do you think it's something that's happened, or is it just better reported? Do we identify it better than, say, the 80s and 90s? Because even we were saying a few weeks ago, when we went to school, we didn't really recognize other kids as like autistic kids. there was maybe one or two weird ones that now when you look back, you're like, oh, they were probably autistic. But as a teacher and someone in society more, you see a lot more. Is that because we recognise it better, or is it something changed? It's a hard one.
So, full disclaimer,
Yeah.
I am not an expert on that, but I do obviously hear a lot of research and studies about it. So it is a combination, I would have thought. So the combination of better diagnostic tools is probably the first one and most major one. So where you had people slipping through the net and not being diagnosed at all through life, and they might be able to mimic really well. They're getting caught earlier, which is great because then they're getting their supports earlier to then live as normal life as they possibly can.
And that's a huge issue. I was a massive denier in a couple of Scotty's her delays. And Steph really pushed for us to start to address these sorts of things. And I was one of those people who went, nah, she'll develop as she develops. Like she might take a little bit longer. She's just a kid. Now, obviously, seeing the benefits of having some speech, physio, OT, how it's helped with the GDD and how she goes moving forward. But it's got to a point where she's quite capable of just handling year one, which is she's stepping straight into it next year, which is
huge.
Very good. So, getting in early and recognising those signs early is super important.
100%. There's probably a few other factors. So obviously the NDIS in Australia is geared towards diagnosis, whether or not paediatricians, OTs, physio, speechies see somebody who's kind of on that cusp and goes, I want them to get support, which is great because they're good people and they want these people to achieve in life. And there's a stat in the NDIS that right now, and this is what you're saying, 5 to 9 year old boys in Australia, 10% of them are on the autism
That doesn't
spectrum.
feel right to me.
So it's one of those things where it's kind of like, and this will be the big changes in the NDIS in the future, is that maybe diagnosis, might not be the tool that they use to put somebody on, but more the function or what they're lacking to support.
Almost paralysis by analysis, like over-analysing everything, going, yep, that's an autistic trait. That means that they're autistic. Or like these three things are signs of autism. So that, because 10%, that doesn't, I mean...
So it's one
maybe
of those,
that's just normal human. Maybe 10% of humans are just like that. So.
It's one of those things where, again, like I don't have the expert background to it. My kind of wheelhouse is making sure that if somebody is in that situation, that they have opportunity to do something that makes them feel a part of a community and be able to have fun, man.
Yeah, for sure. My best strategy with my autistic kids was to treat them like the other kids.
Yes.
It was literally... Don't treat them any differently. Make some adjustments to perhaps their learning or whatever their interests are. But I would talk to them and treat them exactly like I would any other kid. And it was way more successful than... I see other teachers and they speak to them like they're fucking dumb 6-year-olds. Yeah. It's like, that's not what they need. You can have a joke with them. Like, you can still treat them. You can, I would rile them up a little bit by winding them up, but not trigger them. Have some banter. Yeah, and it's like, man, just fucking half the thing is realizing you don't have to cotton ball these kids. But yeah, it's you'd have some ripper stories, I reckon, as well for stand up.
I've got some amazing stories of that social connection, and and one of the things which I have found to be true is that a lot of these participants we take, and especially when I was working in the gym, because you really develop that one-on-one relationship when you're PTing somebody. And the filter does lack on some of them.
Yeah, it's so funny.
And man, sometimes I'll have one of the clients on a treadmill and they're walking and there's somebody next to them who's quite large. and the person in the gym will be like, oh, you're doing great, to the client, and she'll look back and be like, you're not, you're still fat.
That's peaking,
Hey?
It's going up into the yellow. Is that full peaking, that bottom one?
No, yellow's fine.
Okay, cool.
Yellow's great.
Yeah, fuck, that's so funny, man. The no filter is brilliant.
Yeah.
I've heard them fucking say shit to the EA. Oh my.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where what you said, treat them just like a normal person.
Yeah.
They are just a normal person.
Yeah.
And like anybody, you just gotta, we all require different levels of support and need in our lives. you just got to figure out what that is.
Yeah.
It is, we deal with a lot of people who are non-verbal. So being able to socially communicate with them is a skill that you have to learn.
What sort of strategies would you use there? Because that's the one thing I was not lucky enough, but I think I had one kid that was non-verbal, but he would talk a little bit. He was actually all right with me, but how do you communicate? What do you do? Because do they choose not to talk or they can't talk? This is what I've always wondered.
Again,
in your experience.
Yeah, in my experience, it's they don't have the brain development yet to be able to use speech.
Cool.
But I'll tell you the story and it'll blow your mind. So I did a conference where I gave a presentation about Ocean Heroes and what we do, and it was in this room full of all these neuroscientists and brain surgeons, and I should not have been in that room.
And they've got degrees. You're like, I'm a PT, man. We got this going.
And the guy after me was a non-verbal autistic person who got up, and the way he communicated was he typed away, and they showed a video of him typing, and he would sit there and stim, so with his hands moving like this, and then press a letter, and then stim, and then press a letter. And he wrote this 10-minute speech out like that. It took him hours to do.
Really?
So he walks up on stage, stimming, really uncomfortable, bright lights, everything, and then he pressed play. And this speech just tore these doctors and therapists to shreds, because he's like, you often talk like I'm not in the room. You never talk to me. You talk to my parents, and you pretend like I can't hear. I am a human being. Talk to me. And that's always stuck with me. So my kind of skill around it is, instead of asking questions, because you might not get an answer, I am just saying statements. I'm like, oh, the surf is so good today. We're going to go down here now. Look at that seagull. Look at that dolphin, whatever. But constantly talking, because they deserve it. They want social interaction as well. And just because they're not saying anything doesn't mean they don't have anything.
Have you learnt to pick up on cues on when they're happy, sad? Yes,
everyone's
no?
different. Yeah. So we've got one Grom who comes down, Zach. He's famous at our events. Everybody wants to take him. He squeals when he's happy. So he'll catch a wave and stim and just squeal super loud. And he sits on the board and he just froths. He's been coming since day one and still comes to surf experiences, free events. And everyone loves taking him because you get that feedback. Yeah. It's positive. You can tell he loves it. Yeah. A lot of the other kids, you might not get that sort of feedback, or you might need to learn what their kind of thing is, but they're all different. Yeah. Because that's all your ego as well, going, oh, fuck, I'm doing a good job here. Why don't they appreciate it? Like, even as a teacher, when I had autistic, I'd do something really, I go out of my way from, and they would just be like, it would look like they didn't give a fuck, but that's just me interpreting a neurotypical response. When the reality is they probably fucking frothing it. You just don't get that normal feedback that you would get. Yeah, and having the awareness. Learn it a different way. Yeah, and having the awareness of being okay with that. Yeah. As well. And then often if they are verbal, you can verbalise them, are you enjoying this? Yeah. And they're going to tell you the truth. Yeah. They'll be like, nah, this sucks. Yeah. Or can we do something different? Yeah. Or they'll be like, no, this is cool. Yeah. So
where do you go? So obviously you have your sort of, quote unquote, training and your sort of experience in it. Yeah. But you get volunteers, you get helpers, you get people who are involved. What do they do to get involved? Do you have to run them through or give them ideas of how to handle certain situations, or how does that sort of evolve? Because there's a broad range of people there. And on top of that, do you ever get autistic people helping other autistic people? Yes. After they've come through. Yes, this is my favourite thing to talk about. So first off, volunteering, bit of a plug. We actually have a free event on this Sunday at Trig. Yeah, right. So it's running from 8 till 1:30. Cool. If you want to come volunteer, hit us up on our socials, Ocean Heroes. All you need is a Working with Children check for obvious reasons. And then we teach everything else. So down at the event, so say if you want to come down and just stay on the beach and help the kids get into wetsuits and life jackets, you don't need to have real kind of water training. It's super easy to kind of teach. Yeah. You'll have lots of people around you as well to kind of guide you through. And again, it's learning on the job a little bit, but the water stuff is really important. So we obviously safety first, and we have best practice at Ocean Heroes. So we'll never put a first-time volunteer with a participant that has never been before and requires a hell of a lot of support. Yeah. So our beach coordinators are great at making sure we pair the right participant with the right coach or volunteer. So when they rock up, they'll come down to the beach, learn how to take somebody surfing, learn some very easy things to do with people with autism, like
don't repeat questions, get down to their eye level when you talk to them, speak a little bit slower, but not in a way that you kind of like,
they're not
you know,
dumb.
just make sure you just like really clear when you're talking to them, and then never drag them into the ocean.
Whereas when I come down, that's where I had to step in the other day. I was like, nah, fuck it, let's chuck Scotty in. Bang. And I just chucked her in the water.
Yeah, and it's very different when it's somebody who's come multiple
100%.
times and we know where they're at.
Yeah.
And if it's somebody who is their first time actually being at the beach.
Yeah.
So that, like, please come down. I'm super biased.
Yeah.
Our volunteer experience is the best experience in Australia.
Yeah.
And I don't say this lightly. And because I've obviously seen thousands of people come through our programs, you can change somebody's life by taking them surfing. And it's not the surfing. I'm not telling any of this kind of crap where it's surfing is doing this. It is the opportunity and the community that is making it better for these people.
Yeah. And just being able to connect and see them achieve.
Yeah.
So do you have surf school graduates come back and help?
Yes, big time. So I'll give a shout out to the kind of 3 that we have at the moment. And this is a pathway we want to create at Ocean Heroes, where a big thing when an autistic person leaves school is they really struggle to gain employment. It's somewhere in the 50% to 60% range of unemployment in somebody, and that's underemployment as well. So then you'd have a percentage of those 40% that are underemployed. So that's a real issue. So we wanted to create a pathway where not only could we give work experience hours, which is kind of like a little bit of a cop-out, but a great experience. But it's also, we want to create a paid position for some of our graduates who have come through. So we've got a young man named Charlie, another young man named Cole, and a young lady called Serena. And these guys have started when they were 8, 9, 10 years old with us at Ocean Heroes, and started where they were scared of the ocean. They didn't want to go in. And now we're putting them through surf rescue course, first aid courses. They're coming down to our surf experience program. They're doing their work experience.
That's incredible.
And it looks like one of them is going to be on a casual basis with us next year. And not just making Ocean Heroes this thing where it's like, oh yeah, we just take people with autism surfing, but actually having some social impact outside of that, where it's kind of like, man, we're doing this and we're doing this and we're providing employment, and it's super cool.
That's awesome.
But the families see this, and, you know, because the kids love Ocean Heroes and they want to work with us, they're just like frothing to learn. And so trying to create that pathway for them is, you know, a big part of my role.
Yeah.
And it's a real challenge. I've got no experience in creating these pathways.
Yeah.
But again, it's one of those things that's super, you know, tailored to the person.
Even navigating something like conditions would be quite a like if it's a pissing down, rainy, disgusting day. Like how would you go about navigating something like that?
Is it year round, or do you just do summer? Because that would be the hard thing.
Year round.
Yeah.
We obviously don't run when it's really bad weather.
Yeah.
And safety first, we don't go out if it's massive swell.
Yeah.
And it is kind of a tricky one because the ocean is never the same 2 days, you know. And it's kind of like one of those things where teaching ocean and surf awareness is better by doing than by saying, oh, the waves can be this big one day or that big. So it is hours in the water to learn. But that's what's so great about the work experience program, because they're down there and they're learning about it. And each time before we go out, we have, hey, that's where the rip is. This is where the sandbar is. This is where we are going to stay, so we don't get dragged out there. And
that's great.
but it's so challenging. You know, I still go down to the ocean. I'm like, whoa, what is that doing over there? Or like, you know, it's so different every day. And because we run these events all over WA. So, you know, we do them in Broome, we do them in Geraldton, Esperance, Denmark, Albany, Margs. The conditions are different for all of them. So, for example, in Broome, the tide difference can be 9 metres. So we'll start an event right up near the sand dune, and in 4 hours, we're 400 metres out to sea.
Wow.
It's dry. So learning how to navigate these changing conditions is a challenge, but it's just time.
Now, something I wanted to ask as well that stuck on me, because you're talking about changing conditions. Have you found that autistic kids, the routine thing is a bit of a myth, or do they actually need routine? Because it sounds like they'd be doing something different when they come down to the beach all the time. And even going down for the first time is a break in their routine. But if they enjoy it, what's your experience with that stigma or stereotype of it has to be done this way, then this way? Because I found a lot of the autistic kids were quite reasonably flexible with not having, it didn't have to be like this and this. There was some little tiny triggers where they had to have a pen or like flicking a pen or something. But in terms of like, your routine daily or what you're going to do, they're quite flexible with that.
Yeah, it's everybody's
Horses for
different.
courses.
Yeah, so we'll get some kids that come down super flexible and we can just do whatever, and then we got other kids that come down that have to surf at the same time with the same coach with the, and that's fine. So what we do with especially with the events and surf experiences, we try to make sure that the process to start with is always the same.
Gotcha.
So at the events, they rock up at a desk, get a wristband, they then put a wetsuit and a life jacket on, get paired with the surf coach, learn to surf, and then they go out. It never changes.
Cool.
That's how we do it.
Yeah.
But if the participant needs it to change, we will change it.
Yeah.
I wonder what role neuroflexibility and the default mode network that we've talked about recently. I wonder what that plays.
We'll bring some mushrooms down for the
Yeah,
kids.
yeah. I wonder what role. No,
I need to say no.
I wonder what that role plays with them.
Yeah.
Because it would be similar pathways, and I wonder that maybe potentially they have more flexibility.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if an autistic adult consenting that did magic mushrooms, if the thinking processes or the routine things would alter a bit.
It silences the default mode network, which helps with neuroflexibility. But if the neuroflexibility is already, from what you guys are saying, is pretty
rigid,
not rigid, and they seem to be able to jump around. Maybe maybe theirs is already toned down a little bit, potentially. I don't know. I'd love to know the science behind that one.
Yeah.
So I'll jump in there. So there's a couple of studies which are really unreal that are going on around kind of the surf therapy zone, they've been using magic mushrooms, or how do you say it? Psilocybin.
Yep.
And MDMA, where obviously using that as a form of treatment for people with PTSD and really bad depression. And you guys had a guy on a podcast recently. I listened to that. He's incredible, amazing.
Dr. Stephen Bright.
And I've obviously got lived experience in my own family with similar sort of things. And so 70% of autistic people over the age of 14 have a mental health condition.
Right.
So
how many?
70.
Is that a not morbidity, but are they together, or does one cause the other?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying what the stat is, and it could be depression, anxiety, OCD, whatever. So that's the most recent stat, 70% of over 14-year-olds. So then you go back to different treatment protocols and different therapies and they're doing this amazing thing in America where they're treating PTSD with surfing for veterans who've come back from war.
Wow.
And having amazing results. And they're doing it to a point where I'm pretty sure they're doing brain scans and, because obviously PTSD can be measured. And they're doing these incredible things where they're getting huge achievements for their clients. And then there's obviously the MDMA side and the magic mushroom side. I've got no idea about that.
Yeah.
But having these alternative therapies around where we don't claim to be a therapy at all, and just making sure people understand that.
Yes.
We don't fit into that category. There is no evidence that suggests that surfing and autism is a therapy.
Yeah.
But being part of a community, exercising, feeling like you belong, having good social relationships, they are all linked to better mental health outcomes.
And for everyone.
Yeah.
For everyone.
But even saying that, just having that recent knowledge of what we've learned about with neurorigidity and neuroflexibility, potentially there's something happening.
Learning a new skill.
Yeah, you're learning a new skill. You're doing something that's out of your comfort zone, so it's probably lending a little bit of help in that regard.
And you're getting outdoors and you're being with nature and you're moving your body and you're learning a new skill and you're surrounded by other people who have been through what you through. It's almost like being part of a community and using physical activity and helping your body circulate and being out in the environment is good for you. Like, what a surprise.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you a story which directly relates to that, and it almost makes me tear up every time I say it. And I'll change the name of the person because I know that she will listen.
Yep.
And so at our second or third event, this little girl came down, and we'll call her Rachel.
Okay.
And she came to the event, signed up, got her wetsuit, and got introduced to me. And I was like, "Hey, Rachel, I'm Luke. I'm your surfer." And she goes, "Hi, Luke. I'm Rachel, and I'm autistic." I was like, "That's cool. That's what we do down here.
Yeah.
All good." Took her surfing. We had a great time. Call it like maybe 10 waves. Didn't surf for too long, and then kind of she was done, and off she went.
Were you on a break?
No.
Rachel and Ross.
And then maybe like a week later, we got this essay-long email from her mum explaining what had changed in Rachel's life after she came surfing. So she had explained that Rachel at school was getting like severely bullied. She was 8 years old at the time, had really bad depression, was seeing a psychiatrist for it, heavily medicated, suicidal thoughts, just these sort of things that shouldn't happen
8 years old.
to an 8-year-old. She had never done homework. She had never done sport at school. She'd never walked from the car to the classroom by herself until the day after Ocean Heroes.
Wow.
And that day, that Monday morning, she got out of the car and said, "Bye, Mum," and walked to class.
What the fuck?
Right? And then it gets so much better. Her teacher then told her she did sport for the first time. She was engaged in classroom activity. That night, she did homework for the first time. She then went to her psychiatrist's appointment, and her psychiatrist was like, "This is not the same kid. What is going on here? Like, what have you done differently?" And, I was like, "We've done nothing except we just went down to Ocean Heroes and we went surfing." And then fast forward now to this day, this Rachel girl, she volunteers with us.
Sick.
And no longer is she, "Hey, I'm Rachel, I'm autistic," and that is her.
Yeah.
It is now, "Hey, I'm Rachel, I'm a surfer."
Yeah,
and
that's
it is
sick.
so cool. And again, it's not the surfing, but it is the opportunity for them to access something where they can learn a new skill, feel a part of something,
Yeah.
feel like they can actually do something cool.
Yeah.
And
Different
then
idea,
it
yeah.
flows on to the rest of their life.
That's so cool.
Very interested in what's happening there in the brain. There's something.
Well, instead of going, "I'm Rachel, I'm autistic," your whole personality is autism. If I'm autistic, that means I don't have friends, I can't do sport, I don't do this, I do. All of a sudden, she's learnt, "Hey, I'm Rachel, I'm autistic, but I can fucking surf. I've just learnt how to do this." Maybe something's gone on and gone, "Whoa, if I can surf, I can walk to class on my own. If I can walk to class on my own, I can do this, I can do that." That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Have you got any other really cool success stories that you love telling, or something that you've seen someone progress?
Yeah, so there's a couple where the kids that have never had a shower before, so they might come to us when they're 6 or 7, and the parent, I've got a 1-year-old daughter, so I couldn't imagine not being able to bathe my daughter.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine just having to do wet wipes? Oh, it would just be an absolute. And I say these kids are 6 or 7, and so they come down, and being able to kind of slowly integrate them into going down to the sand and getting their feet wet for the first time. And it takes a long time to build that trust.
In terms of like what's a long time? Weeks, months?
It depends, but we've had some participants, it can be months.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it works for everybody. We definitely have people that come down and go, "Surfing's not for me."
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
But you tried it.
Yeah.
That's cool. But then hearing from these families, the life-changing side of it where now Jimmy goes home and he has a shower
Yeah, it's sick.
by himself and he has no fear. He
Yeah.
gets out of the shower, dries himself, and it's cool. Whereas 6 months prior to that, Jimmy just was terrified of going into the bathroom.
Yeah.
And that is life-changing for that family.
Yeah.
What do they tell you what the trigger was, or is it just the sensory thing? Or is it like a trauma from like they had to swim or something?
Yeah.
Negative, and they've associated it.
Could be anything.
Anything?
Could be the sensory side of it.
Yeah.
They could have had a near drowning incident.
Yeah.
Did you say trauma? Mushrooms, Delby. Mushrooms. Everything's mushrooms. Mushroom Jesus.
But it's kind of like one of those things where we've all got these things where we're like, I'm terrified of flying in planes.
Yeah.
I've never had like a serious incident on a plane.
Yeah.
But it's just the idea of it. So maybe that could fly. Like, I
Focusing
still don't
on
understand these metal coffins in the sky.
Yeah.
It's the lack of control, I think, and
not seeing where you can go.
Yeah.
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 Just also like
That's how
if it hits the ground, you just like we're gone.
Yeah. That's
So-
how I
and you
feel
don't
when
have-
I get a woman driver in my Uber. Just jokes. Just jokes. Got
yeah.
you giggling.
Classic.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's what, who knows, man. I don't even really have an irrational fear of anything.
Don't-
Heights, maybe. Bungee jumping was the scariest shit I ever did.
Yeah,
That's 'cause you
I've done
force yourself.
skydiving to
Sick,
try and
I know.
overcome the
Oh, yeah,
fear.
yeah, yeah.
And I loved it so much because I could see where I was going
Yeah.
in the plane because it was a small plane.
Yeah.
And then it was it was awesome
Yeah.
fun.
So the next thing we're going to do, skydiving heroes.
There we go.
Where's
Base jumping.
Where's Gavin messaged me the other day? What are you doing on December? Blah blah blah. Do you want to come skydiving? I was like,
Hell yeah, go for it.
yeah. There was.
If you die, it doesn't matter.
No, I was
We're
actually
already dead.
I was considering it. I've already had something on that day, but yeah, the fact that he was just like, "Do you want to come skydive?" And the first thing I thought of was like, I don't know. Yeah.
It's awesome fun.
Yeah,
Well, I was actually going to chat to you guys. I see you doing this 52K.
yeah. Come run a leg.
So 100%, because I love this stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So one of our big sides to Ocean Heroes is our fundraising models and how we do it. And we're pretty unique. So a lot of the time, some of us will do these crazy endurance things. So like how we first started fundraising for Ocean Heroes, we did this paddleboard race in Hawaii from Molokai to Oahu.
Fuck, is that where Andy Donaldson
Is that the
swam?
big-
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Andy swum that.
Wow.
Oh no, he might have done Molokai to a different island, but either way,
Yeah.
insane because
Yeah.
these channels aren't like the Rottnest Channel where it's 15 meters deep.
Yeah.
They're something 3,000 feet.
Yeah.
You know, they're super deep ocean, like pretty hectic.
Actually, that is a fear of mine. Deep ocean.
Yeah.
that's a fear.
So for 3 years in a row, Sam and I, with the other co-founder, we did this race where we would paddle from Molokai to Oahu. We're absolute battlers,
Yeah.
right? We're like, none of us had done like surf club paddleboarding ever.
Yeah.
We just learned how to do it.
Yeah.
And then we go across and do this race, and there's guys like Jamie Mitchell and Kai Lenny and like all these incredible
Ironman?
paddlers. Yeah, Ironman, like
Yeah.
Matt Poole does it, and you know, all these guys are like elite athletes, and then there's Sam and I. and yeah, we would just battle across. But we thought it was such a great way to raise money because the hardest thing about running a charity is getting grants and raising money. And we're so lucky now that we have this fundraising team of Sam Kay and Michaela Jackson that they've come up with these out-of-the-box ideas. And I want to kind of challenge you guys to this. We've got this 24-hour swim in April where we have teams of 10 where at any one point, one person from that team needs to be in the pool doing a lap. And you've got to swim for 24 hours. Now, we've got the whole pool at Scarborough for this. And in this race, we have teams that try and break the world record. And then we have teams full of kids and participants. And then Andy Donaldson, I'm pretty sure.
I was about to say, so we're going to hit up Andy Donaldson, we'll hit up Jade, we'll hit up Blair Evans. We've got 3 people there straight away.
It's funny, isn't it? And so I'm pretty sure Andy had I think he was having the sort of idea of maybe he was going to
do it
do
himself.
it solo.
Yeah.
Like what a madman.
Yeah.
But this swim has been our biggest fundraiser year after year, and it just grows and grows and grows. But it's such a cool community event because nobody's doing this. And you quite often see with charities they'll go and do like a fun run or something, or they'll just stand at the shops with a tin and donate to this, and that's great. Like, that's cool. But being creative around it and doing these crazy endurance things. So a couple of years ago, I did the Margaret River ultra marathon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god!
I've done it. Yeah. So you
I'm
did
still-
the 80? Yeah.
Yeah, did the 80 and like barely finished.
Yeah.
But I did, which was cool. But these sort of like little things are just unreal. So when I hear you guys are doing these, this cool. So what's it called? 52K.
Pint to pint.
52K pint to pint, yeah.
I'm aiming for half.
Yeah.
But
you'll
if
get
I
it,
can
bro.
finish, happy days.
I reckon you'll get it.
I'll
But can you do a pint at the start and start running?
I fucking hate beer, but I love raunchy. Our sponsors.
Yeah.
If I can do a pint of Jackson Coke, then that's sweet. But
Sugar Rush.
yeah, it's what is it? I'll tell you that because we haven't really
Can you
properly
choose
spoke
what
about
pints you have?
Yeah.
Like can you like having a stout or a Guinness is very different to having like a single fin or
That's a
something.
good idea. I'm sure you can. I wrote
Is there a
down
rule? Are we going to do?
I was thinking as well, if you want to run and be part of it, you have to donate minimum $50.
That's cool. Good
That's
idea.
an easy thing, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the starting 9 a.m. 13 Ks from the boat Mindarie to Mullaloo Beach.
Yep.
Hopefully we get there at 10:30.
That's running at 6. I've worked this out, running at 6 minute pace.
6 minute pace.
And that's doable.
Yeah, which is just a pretty cruisy, like it's not
10,
too
10
bad.
Ks an hour.
Yeah. 11K run from 10:30 to 11:50 from Mullaloo to Trig Island Cafe.
Yeah.
Then 11:50 to 1:35 Trig to Cot. It's only 13K, so that longest leg is that next one. And then 1:35 to either Scarborough Beach Bar or potentially Froth if that's open at North Beach.
Well, that'd be a lot longer.
Yeah, or we can
That's
suss
an
it
extra
out.
like 5.
Yeah, that's
6,
an extra.
maybe?
Yeah, that's an extra few Ks.
We'll suss it out. Yeah.
But yeah, we could make it
55,
55
finish.
Ks. It'd be about an extra 3 Ks, which we could do, making it even 55, which is serendipitous and quite.
But yeah, suss that. So that's the run at the moment with
Yeah.
a pint at each stop.
Yes.
And Wes Kappa wanted to introduce something else as well.
Oh yeah. So me and Wes will sort something. We're going to carry something.
I think,
Yeah.
I think we're actually-
a wheelbarrow with ice in it with the drinks would be fucking pretty good, and everyone has to share it.
I think so, but I think we're literally just going to carry something silly like a sack of potatoes,
Yeah. So,
like a fucking big old sack, and one of us has to be carrying it at all times. If you want to be part of that as well, you can carry the sack of potatoes for a while.
Well, we can share it.
Yeah, if you want to share the load.
Yeah.
yeah.
See?
So carrying something in a run is a nightmare.
Oh, fuck
So Sam just did the City to Surf in Sydney, where he carried a surfboard the whole way, and that what a nightmare.
Under that. Oh my god.
And then I did the HBF Run for a Reason in a steamer wetsuit.
Oh my
so I
god.
ran oh my god. So I had to jump in the river halfway through because I was like,
Is that
overhanging.
dangerous?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then and we just do these crazy things because to try and get attention to raise funds is so challenging, and that's I think so cool. The
Yeah.
52K.
We're doing the
Pints a pint.
because last year we did the 100 from Canning Dam to Trig Beach,
Yeah.
and
Not where he did it with Steve.
yeah. Well, me and Steve did. You ran 14, which was
Yeah.
very
Start,
nice.
yeah.
Well done, Delby.
It was the
It's
longest
very good.
I've ever run in my
Yeah,
life.
really good. But I noticed just by carrying my backpack, by the end of it, my arm had gone numb. So if you're carrying a fucking big old heavy sack of potatoes for quite a while, that'll be pretty
Like
interesting.
carrying these nuts. No,
But
no.
it might not be able to finish. That'll be a pretty bad challenge.
Yeah. But I feel like just for the first one, we should just have the pint to pint, build a community.
Okay.
And then the next one,
Okay.
all right, cool, we've done it. Let's ramp it up.
Yeah. Where's
'Cause having the
park,
pint-
park your car in the garage and stop fucking being so
Well, Wes
hard.
can do whatever he wants.
Nah,
He can bring a fucking midget with him if he wants to.
He wants,
Whatever
he did. When I said that, he's like, fuck yeah, a midget. I was like, okay.
But how did you find your ultra? Because Branchy had a different experience. Was the Margaret River one?
Yeah.
Had you ever run before? Or do you
I-
love running? I mean, fuck, as a PT.
I hate running.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So during COVID, when we couldn't really do anything because we were stuck in our homes, I just took up running. So I used to do all that downwind paddleboarding, and then obviously we were kind of limited in how far we could go. So I was like, I'm just going to start running. And I did like 3Ks, 5Ks, and I was like, I was just kind of getting bored. So I was like, I got to challenge myself. So I just signed up to the ultra.
That's how I did it.
and had no experience. I've never run a half marathon, let alone a marathon or an ultra.
We the same person?
So, and then like I started training for I had a few mates kind of help me along the way and like come from training runs and everything. And I was doing really, really well. And then a month out, I hurt my knee and I was like, so I didn't train for the month leading up to it. And then kind of went into it and I was like, I'll just start and see how I go. Ended up feeling really good. Got kind of past the third checkpoint at Margs and got past Margaret River mouth. And I forgot that there was in that long sand section after that.
yeah.
And I was like, once I got
This is
past
the
Margs,
one. This is the one we've all been talking about. Everyone said it.
And I like,
a
got
killer.
past the Budget Up
Yeah,
section. And I was like, I've done the sand bit.
Yeah.
And I'm done.
And you go
That's
back
good.
up, and then you come back down.
And then I come back down. And I cried.
Yeah.
I saw it.
It broke.
I saw it.
Completely broke me.
Fuck.
Completely broke me because I had
So-
the exact same experience. Got to the end of where I thought the end of the sand was.
There's more
Called
sand.
my brother,
Another devil?
who was waiting for me at the third stop. Said, "I'm 10 minutes away. I can see the end of the sand."
How much further is that?
No, it'd be another like 4 or 5Ks on the beach.
Wow.
And then you have this like donkey track sand thing
Yeah.
to get up to the top to then get to the back of Greystown.
Which is incredibly tough to get up. Like it's steep like that to get up.
That's horrific.
So I'm standing there on the beach, like
Crying.
waddling. I'm on the sand just crying. And I've got like these like old people with the sticks. Just flying past me.
Morning.
Oh, what have I done? Anyway, so like, it was the hardest endurance thing I've done, full stop. And then I remember getting to the back of Greystown, and what's that little kind of, there's that house you run past.
Yes. Oh, I can't remember the house, but that's the
anyway.
fourth leg. Yeah.
Yeah, so and I've tripped over one of those like little plastic mats.
Oh,
and
no.
and my phone, my water, everything came out, smashed my screen. Like I like hit the ground, like grazed my forehead.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I just lied there on the ground for a bit, just kind of just like, know, like I could pull out now.
Yeah.
Anyway, this like old duck, like she would have been 70, like she's pretty old.
Yeah.
She's come up next to me and she's going, "Oh, are you okay?" And I was like, "I think so." And she's like, "Get up and keep going then." And then just went. And I was like, so then this is the second time I cried. So then I've like cried all the way to Gracetown, and then by that time I could barely bend my knees.
Yeah.
And so I had to go down those stairs to get into Gracetown, and I'm kind of like straight legged down the stairs. Yeah. And then I pretty much had to walk the rest of the way, all the way to Cheeky Monkey, which is when it finished when I did it.
No, we must have been the same year.
Yeah, so I did it in like 11 hours, I think.
Yeah.
Beat
The
me,
first-
fucker.
How long was your
13.
13?
Yeah.
You know, mine might have been 13.
I got stuck, but still wouldn't have done it in 11.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it in 10 this year.
10. Oh my God, you're psycho.
I won't get it done in 10,
do you
but
know what's
I'll
funny?
push for 10 11.
I was on track to do it sub 10.
Wow.
And then just like completely fell away.
Yeah.
Would you bring sticks next time or
I'm
not?
not using sticks.
No.
What did you notice with painkillers? Did you get painkillers or anti-inflams?
I'm an absolute nuffy. I got no idea what I'm doing with running.
So did you try?
Nah, so I didn't. So I literally went into it just with like coconut water, and Anzac biscuits.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to keep my stomach super settled.
I think that's the way to do it though. Just like with almost knowing less is best.
Yeah.
Like it's just ends up being, if I knew too much, I'd overthink it and I'd probably fuck up more.
Yeah, and I steer clear of all the gels. They just don't sit well with me.
Yeah.
But I just remember I felt mentally sweet in terms of like energy wise. My stomach was good, but it was just like my legs. I just didn't have the endurance in it.
See, I didn't. I basically just didn't train, and stupidly, I chose that to keep me motivated to train, and it didn't work. But then putting those painkillers in at the right times is fucking incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Anti-inflam or painkiller?
What ones?
Both. So you got to be very careful though. So because if your kidneys and livers can't process it very well. So I limited myself to 4 tablets. So 2 at one point and 2 at another point.
Right.
And I thought I timed it perfectly. I timed it pretty well with the first dose.
Yep.
And the second dose I timed again what I thought was perfectly, but because I got stuck with a guy who was cramping. By the time they wore off, we were still halfway through the last leg, and every fucking step on that gravel road going up towards Cheeky Monkey was just like knives in the bottom of my feet because the painkillers had worn off, and I'd gotten used to the painkillers.
Yeah.
So-
Speaking of PTSD, that
Yeah.
pissed me. Yeah. I recently did the Herdes Ultra. Have you guys heard of that one?
Oh, out at is that out?
At Herdsman Lake.
Yeah.
Where you do the
over
laps.
and over and over and over.
Yeah,
and over.
so it's a cool concept. It's called a backyard ultra where you do a lap of herdsmen
every
hour.
Yeah.
And you can do it in however fast you want. So it's 6.71 kilometers. So you could walk it really fast, but you don't want to because you want to get back to kind of drink, eat, rest, go. And I decided that having a child in December and then doing this in February or March, whenever it was a good idea.
because it's 24 hours, hey? Is it 24? Or no, as long as you can
just
go.
Yeah. So
As
the
long
guy
as you
who won
can.
it went Friday to Monday.
Oh my God. Did he sleep?
No, well, they sleep for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
my
my God, that's horrific.
So me and Xander did it, and we just so I had not trained,
Yeah.
so like just been battling a child that was not sleeping, and then got there and like as you do when you don't train and your feet get sore, started running really funny. And I was like, so like balancing weird on one foot, and then by the end of the last lap where I failed, my foot had swollen up so much in my shoe that I was like, oh man, I think I've done some damage.
So what do you mean you failed? What do you?
couldn't go anymore.
So you don't finish the lap in time.
So you couldn't get.
I couldn't get there, and I started a lap and got like a kilometre in and just couldn't go.
Because what is it? 6 kilometers.
6.71.
Which ends up being like 25, 30 minutes, depending on what sort of pace you're running at.
No, so most people do it in like 40 minutes to try and get that 20-minute
cruise
breather. Just cruise.
Yeah.
But you imagine like if you're on lap 8 or 9
Yeah.
and the worst thing is cooling down and then starting again.
Oh,
which,
man.
yeah.
I would hate it. I don't like seeing the same thing more than once.
Yeah, it's a good mental challenge.
I
Because
want-
you do it at night, so you start at 4 p.m. So then you're running in the dark, so you don't see anything except for your head torch and the person in front of you. So it's a good one to put on the bucket list because it's It is hard.
Fuck, I don't even like running as it is. I get a problem after about 7Ks where my back surgery, the nerve, whatever's happened, the 2 toes on my left foot, 'cause the nerve runs from your glute past your hammy down, I think, they just go dead. So I'm like running like with a club foot. So I don't know. That's what scares me about this one. It's
funny
just
as
having
well.
no feeling in
You
those.
got through that 14 with not with ease, but easy.
Yeah.
So
I still couldn't feel my toes.
oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm really
Stretching,
I
maybe?
wrote down on my goals this year to run a half marathon. So if I can get halfway
21?
through, then it's more than that.
Well, that's what the first 2 legs are.
Yeah, to cover that.
Yeah,
I think I can get into leg 3 potentially. Yeah.
you can do it.
Yeah, I'm just worried. I just don't want to do permanent damage to my back.
Have you guys heard of the hardest geezer?
No.
Oh man, check this guy out.
The hardest geezer.
So this guy is this English bloke with a big red beard, and
Yeah.
he's running from the southern point of South Africa to the most northern point of Africa.
Right.
And he is in like Nigeria or something at the moment. So he's like more than halfway.
Fuck.
And this bloke runs like 50, 60 Ks a day.
Fucking
He's
hell.
been held up at gunpoint. Like, check this guy out.
It's just running and they hold him up.
Who's who's the other guy at the moment? The Aussie bloke who's running around the world.
I'm not sure.
He's trying to break
Well,
the
I
record.
think the hardest geezer on the hardest yarn would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, man,
perfect
get this guy,
match.
and he just seems like the biggest character. But check him out; he's all over like social media. But he is the most nuts dude.
Yeah.
And you kind of look at him, and then I'm complaining, so I'm so tired, I can't run 5Ks, and this bloke's out there just like smashing it day after day, and he's like this wild character. You got to check him out, and like I reckon if you watch him before you guys start this run, you guys will smash it. You'll be like,
yeah.
I'll be recovering from Boxing Day, but I think that's good because I'll have a bunch of sugar in me for 2 days later.
Yeah.
I'll have to.
We need to suss gels for me and you.
I'll have to figure out who this Aussie bloke is because he was actually on Backchat a while ago as well. But he was he hit us up like early days, and I was like, oh, the Zoom stuff is when we changed over from not doing Zooms, and we will get back into doing Zoom chats. But he's trying to run around the world. And he's in Europe now.
Jesus?
Mate,
what does he
he's
do
trying
with
to
the water?
He's trying to break the world record for the fastest to run around the world.
How do they do that with the water? You just catch a boat
I think there's boats and stuff like there's points. You have to go from continent to continent. But he's it's something ridiculous. I'll find up the information because he'll be interesting to get on.
Yeah,
But,
and just when you
hardest cases, I love that sort of shit.
Find out about these people, you just get so motivated because you're like, I'm actually not really doing that much.
Yeah.
Well, it's
And
like
then
Ned
you're
Brockman.
like,
Everyone got around that.
Yeah,
but
everyone started running.
But had they known there was other people doing that at the same time, they just happened to be not Ned Brockman.
Not good at marketing.
Well, how's the guy who walked from South Africa to Russia, so the longest road,
the one all the way through.
and then he got caught in Russia when the Ukraine war started.
Oh, my no. God.
And then they thought he was like a US spy, and so he was in jail in Russia.
Oh, my God.
Man, I'm pretty sure he was on Rogan.
Is he out now?
Yeah, he's out now.
Wow.
You see all seasons, don't you? From memory, I think you go.
think so, yeah.
As you go through, you experience
right.
like the seasons.
Every season.
Yeah, or
Yeah, amazing.
somehow, but it ends up being it's a big long walk from the bottom of South Africa all the way to the top of Russia, and there's that one
Fucking
connecting
hell.
way through.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Fuck, that's
So, in terms of funding, if you were going to do something crazy, you get the funding and go straight into Ocean Heroes?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we've expanded and we're in New South Wales now. So Sam's moved over there. Programs are going great.
Yeah.
We see Ocean Heroes as a national program.
Yeah, it makes
there's,
sense.
There's nobody kind of doing what we do, at least on our scale. And we want to be in Queensland, Victoria, South Australia, and we run events, in Victoria before and New South Wales previously. But there is, 1 in 50, 1 in 70, depending on which study you look at. That's how many people have been diagnosed now. That many people not accessing the ocean is not okay. That's what we want to change. So every single bit of funding that we raise goes into us running these programs. And the cool thing about what we do, and we think it's one of the best parts of our programs, is we go to them.
Yeah.
So for us to fly to Broome, it's obviously a significant cost, and we're lucky that Telethon sponsors us for that. But we fly to Broome 4 times a year, and we get all these kids from the Kimberley, from different communities, from Kununurra, Halls Creek. They come to Broome for the weekend, and we take them surfing.
It's so crazy that this is worked out in that perfect circle, because last time I was in Broome, that was a big event happening on the beach. And I think Tracy Vo was up there with it, and I was trying to find out what it is, and now like my daughter's part of it, and we're having it on the podcast. So I remember I was intrigued by what was happening. So it's come perfect.
You just wouldn't do it in the Northern Territory.
No, well, even in Broome, like I'm terrified of crocs. Most people are, because they're dinosaurs.
Yeah, rightfully so.
But we've never seen one. And Cable Beach is like, obviously pretty safe because it's a beach. But we've had locals up there be like, "Oh, there's no crocs here," and then like a day later, the crocs are in that creek, and you're like, "Oh, I don't know."
But is it adaptable to pools, or is it a different setup? Because would it be stand-up paddleboarding instead of surfing?
Yeah, so we offer stand-up paddleboarding as well. So for example, we're doing an event in Redgate or at Redgate in February, and then the following day we're doing one in Dunsborough, which is a stand-up paddleboard event.
Cool.
It's just about access to the ocean. That's all it is. It doesn't matter if it's swimming or surfing or stand-up paddleboarding.
Yeah.
It's just get in the water, have fun, be a part of something. Yeah. And hopefully that unlocks other things for you.
Yeah, have you had any people that are on the NDISA, anyone with brain damage or Down syndrome, or any success stories with them that's had a marked change, or is it you don't see enough of it?
So what we do is not the whole solution. We are just a part of it. Yeah. But what we love to see is that we get a grom that comes down, that we teach them the skills to be able to go do something else, which they then build more skills and then build more.
It's pretty cool.
And that's what we do really well.
Yeah.
And one of the things we do, which I think, is something that these kids struggle with, is we teach them how to fail. So if they fall on a wave, or if they have a bad wipeout, that's okay. We'll just teach you how to do it better next time. And to learn that, part of surfing, sometimes the best part of surfing is wiping out.
Yeah.
And you got to learn that it's okay to fall off.
Yeah.
But sometimes for these kids, it's the first time they've failed outside of a cotton wool ball.
Yeah.
So they've always had that kind of people around them to stop any bad things happening.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they come down and they nosedive in a wave, and it's scary.
Yeah.
So we got to teach them that.
Resilience.
It's funny.
We're talking
on
about the way here.
I have to let go of helicoptering over my daughter to let her experience some pains and some setbacks, because I think it's going to help her grow.
Yeah. Now I have the exact same thing. My daughter's learning to walk at the moment, and she has this little walker. And every time she looks like she's going to fall, I'm like a hawk, man. I'm like, bang. My wife's like, you got to let her fall.
Yeah.
And I can't.
Yeah.
I got to walk away.
It's such a fucking battle, because you just I want to look after them, but you have to let them fall so they learn. I won't do that again.
Or it doesn't matter.
So yesterday I had her out on the footpath outside, like pushing it up a hill. I was like, come on, we're going to go work, And so she's outside and she's looking at leaves and stuff and not really, and she fell like a couple of times. I'm getting better at just being like, okay, and lifting her up and just keep her going.
Yeah.
Man,
and what you end up realising is grazers heal.
Yep.
They don't hold any fears because of something. They just go like, oh, well, fuck that. I fell over doing that. I won't do that again. Like, now I don't have to helicopter you because you've experienced that fail.
Yeah.
But
I never used to get that. So I would see parents come down and just be so protective. And I was like, you just give us space. Let us do our job, which, sometimes happens. But now I really get it, where it's kind of like, this kid is so precious to them.
Yeah.
Not only are they so precious, but they have been told that their child will never get married, their child will never have a career. Your child is going to have these challenges, you're going to have to care for them.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy as well.
So now I kind of resonate with that so much more, where I'm kind of like, my empathy around it is just built.
How do you deal with the parents? Because that would be the second hardest part of your job, right?
Yeah. So,
or maybe the first hardest. As a teacher, dealing with parents is fucking...
So, and there is no understating this. The parents that we deal with are superhuman. And the love, the support, the advocacy that they have for their children is just out of this world. I cannot put it into words when you see a parent who has been fighting for their child for 15 years and they still come down to the beach.
Yeah.
Hey, Luke, how you going? Big smile on their face, genuinely interested in you.
Yeah.
And they have just been on this immense battle trying to make sure that their child gets every single opportunity that they can. Yeah. Because if they don't battle, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And they are beyond superhuman. And what I'm about to say in terms of sometimes the hardest part of what we do is trying to get the parents to step away so that we can work with the kid. it's hard to ask them to
Yeah.
do that. So we often integrate them into it and be like, oh, so what are some strategies that you use?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, Johnny's really attached to me. And you're like, okay, well, why don't you go and grab a coffee for 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Let me work with Johnny here at the van.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we might build some trust and a bond and we'll move from there.
Yeah. Because if you're not giving them that opportunity to...
Yeah. But there's ways you can do it. You obviously don't tell them, hey,
Hey, fuck off
get
for a
out.
second.
Yeah. But it's also like they are the experts of their kid.
Yeah.
You know, there's no doctor or scientist who is.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
So we use them as much as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably get involved too much with the surfing as well. Like, she won't go in the water sometimes without me. So sometimes I'll go in the water to make sure she gets into the water. But I think last time I didn't even get in. Just said, no, you go do it.
Yeah,
It's gotta
but
be done.
it'll get better and better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't told Branchy, you got to move, man.
I got to the other day, she wouldn't get in. I literally just went and grabbed her and chucked her in the water.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, I'm in now. Okay,
Yeah.
sick.
Well, the parents getting involved and always being happy, that just reminds me of what we're talking about before the pod with Luke Toki, how he's got pretty, well, he reckons it's awesome.
Yeah.
We're listening to his story like, man, fuck, it's pretty tough, but he's the happiest bloke on the planet.
He is
Huh?
the most amazing human, hey? Like,
Yeah.
he is full of energy,
Yeah.
full of happiness, him and Mary as well. I still remember the first day he brought his kids down to come surfing with us.
Yeah.
And I think he just got off the first season of Survivor. And so he's rocked up, and like heaps of people knew who he was. And
Yeah.
he is a loud character and stands out like a
You
sore
know, these
thumb.
loud characters.
Oh,
And
fucking
So we've got his kids out there, and like we've like paddled them out, and like normally the parents stay on the beach. So we've paddled these kids out and we're going to go surfing. And so we've got them out there and I just hear this guy swimming behind us and he's crying and he's like, go boys, go boys.
Just
and just
stoked.
like in the way,
Yeah.
like totally in the way, just frothing out and like had the best time ever. And he just became this like legend who was always like, telling
sick.
people about us. And he's done our 24-hour swim, and I was mentioning before off
Yeah.
air. Mate, he rocked up like after this dinner he had with these people who paid for like a Survivor night.
Yeah.
And he's rocked up and he was sauced to the max. And we watch him jump into the pool, and I swear it took him like 10 seconds to come back up. And then we're like kind of watching him, and he's kind of like doing doggy paddle, but not going anywhere.
There's a survivor to survive.
Yeah. And so he just kind of like held onto the lane rope and just pulled himself along. Did 50 meters and was kind of like done.
Done. Yeah.
Yeah. And but he's always been this advocate for us, and he's such a legend.
Yeah,
and
sick.
obviously he's got that lived experience as well. So
Yeah.
he gets it.
Yeah.
So quite often when we tell people what we do, if they don't know anyone with autism, they don't know the challenges around the families, it's a
Yeah.
hard sell.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of like, why? Why would they want to go surfing? Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah, well,
You know?
why would anyone want to go surfing? Like, it's fun to try.
Yeah,
Like,
but it's often the case, like when we're approaching people for funding
Yeah.
or come and volunteer or whatever, they're kind of like, I just don't understand the reasons. But when you come down and see what we do,
yeah,
and you see each individual kid, it's automatic. Like you just get it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I understand why you were doing this and
Yeah.
why it's so beneficial.
And
That's why you guys should come down and check it out,
Yeah.
because obviously you've been down to the
Yeah.
surf experiences. Come to the free events.
Okay.
Because at the free events, you see these families rock up, and we'll have 30 new families come each event where these families have never done this before.
yeah.
The anxiety's through the roof. They're
Yeah.
scared. The kid's scared. And just watch our volunteers, just salt of the earth people, just
Yeah.
do their thing.
I think I'll come down on
sure.
Sunday then with
Sounds like you
Scotty.
need a good, in a past life, a good social media person to film all the interactions and show people instead of going, no, trust us. You can be like, look, man, now come watch this.
Yeah,
You see
it is really hard for us. Obviously we try and make sure it's as comfortable for the families as possible. We don't film
Yeah.
a lot of the families for that reason.
Yeah.
We also want to make sure, a lot of these families are pretty secretive in what's going on in their lives for different
that makes
cultural
sense.
reasons.
Yeah.
And we just want to make sure the environment is, they come down, they know that they're going to be accepted for who they are.
Yeah.
There's no judgment. Doesn't matter if your kid melts down. Doesn't matter whatever.
Yeah.
If it takes them 2 hours to get in the water, we don't care.
Yeah.
Right? It just matters that they're there.
Oceanheroes.com.au or just .com?
And then .com.au, Ocean Heroes Australia on Facebook, and
we go.
Ocean Heroes on Instagram.
I think we just made an awesome ad for you.
Yeah. Oh, mate, what you guys are doing is incredible. And as a parent who's benefited from it, I can't help but stress the amount of gratitude that parents like me feel for an organisation like yourself. So is there anything you want to plug apart from the All Trades and some events coming up?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously this Sunday, the 10th of December.
Yep.
I'm losing days because it's my daughter's first birthday on Saturday. So
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh my God. So the 10th of December, we have an event down at Trig. We have another one on the 21st of January. Hit us up on socials. Come down. Even just watch.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Just come check it out. We're always looking for more sponsors, for more grant opportunities, if you've got any ideas around that.
Yep.
We've got these massive stand-up paddle boards that always need stickers on them. So come on down, put a sticker on it. But the other side, like to share, we have so many great supporters. So we're really lucky that we partner with other Perth and WA-based organisations. So obviously StreetX has been really great for us.
Yeah.
Rusty.
Bradshaw.
Bradshaw, legend.
Yeah.
Varsity's been unreal for us. They often raise some money for us. We've also got Telethon. 7 are huge supporters.
Did you say Rusty?
Rusty as well, yeah.
sick.
So Rusty,
Yeah.
we're
Is
about
that Luke
to...
and that?
Luke Clark, legend.
Yeah, ledge.
So we actually have on December the 17th, the Saturday, maybe that's the 16th.
17th is a Sunday.
Yeah, so the 16th, we have our Livid in the Laneway Festival. So shout out to
Cool.
OT and Livid Skate
Fuck,
Cafe.
there is so many
Yeah,
little
yeah.
link ups here.
It's all the Grim Reapers crew.
Yeah.
So we've got our annual sort of Christmas party little fundraiser thing.
At Livid there?
At Livid, $10 tickets. We've got our Rusty Collab t-shirt releasing there.
Sick.
Come down, have a beer. We got heaps of cool bands. One of our Surf Experience head coach, Bad Boogie, his band, they're playing.
Nice.
They're legends, real good entertaining music.
Sick.
And yeah, just come down and be a part of it. Shout out to Toy Box as well. They sponsor all of our
At the Barbagallows, eh?
yeah, Barbagallo. So they sponsor all of our metro events in Perth and Sydney, and they wouldn't be possible without their help. One of our volunteers actually did the boxing night. A few weeks back. Yeah, which was pretty.
I'd like to do that. It's expensive to enter, but
Is it?
yeah,
One of my
it'd be good to
friends
do.
said they wanted to do that the other
Luke
day.
did it, hey, as well.
Luke did a
Tokyo?
different one.
Different one.
Yeah, but he just recently did it.
Yeah.
But also crazy.
Yeah. That would be a challenge I'd be up for. I fucking hate boxing. I hate swimming. Like, I 50 meters, I'm having an asthmatic attack halfway down. I can't breathe properly and shit's fucked. So the 24-hour challenge sounds like
Hell.
Oh my God.
I'm the same.
But
I would do.
where's your growth coming from? And it only happens in those areas.
I need to grow my lungs, man. The jab fucked it. But the Ocean Heroes Rusty one, so you'd make the Rusty sign.
Yeah,
Sick.
exactly. And it's we're just so lucky we have this support. And
Yeah,
we're
that's
we're really conscious of making sure that we help out the crew that help us. And we're just super lucky. And Perth's such a cool place where it is a bit of a bubble. Everyone knows each other. Everyone helps each other. Yeah. It's really great. And now we're expanding over to New South Wales. It's kind of starting again for that a little bit, but it is a good challenge and it opens up a whole other new
That's
networks.
sick. Sick.
That's
Fucking sick.
That's a fucking good episode. I was glad. Good stuff
Educational.
going on there. Delby, you got anything to plug?
When is this being released?
Next couple of days, probably Wednesday or Thursday.
All right, so Teacher Comedy Night, Thursday, December the 14th. Hard Yarns Podcast fundraiser. No, it's Christmas party, December 15th on the Friday.
Yep.
And then I've just got all corporates on the weekend. So, yeah, Teacher Comedy Night and Hard Yarns Christmas party.
Awesome. All I got to plug is the Christmas party and come run. Come run. Come run branch. Come run branch. And Ocean Heroes. Fuck. Man.
Yeah.
Get down there.
Heroes.com.au.
It's awesome. It's such a great program and so appreciative.
Maybe I'll learn how to
everything
swim.
you guys do. You fucking. You need to go down there, mate. All right. Fuck yeah. Cheers, mate.
Peace.
All good. Thanks for having me.